This is Lesson 9A, Part 1, Rhythm, Meter, Note, and Rest Values. I'm going to give you a brief overview of some of the elements that we need to understand, some of these symbols, in order to read rhythms. So let's start with the staff. What you see here is 5 lines, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 4 spaces. 1, 2, 3, 4. We write music on the staff. There are 2 staves here. Staves is the plural of staff. One, which has a treble clef or a G clef on it. Treble meaning high. These are high pitches, high tones that will be written on this staff. This is the bass clef or the F clef, and this staff has pitches on it that are low. These 2 staves are connected by a bracket, which makes this, the treble and bass clef connected by a bracket, a grand staff. We have 3 of them on this page. 1, 2, 3. Now, over here, we have MM equals 60. MM is the symbol for metronome. And a metronome keeps a steady beat or that even pulse, like a heartbeat or like a clock. A second hand on a clock is a beat per second, and that's why we have the 60 here. Because if we were to use this speed or tempo, it would be a beat per second. So a metronome is available to you online. There's an app. Go to metronomeonline.com and download the metronome because you will be using it for different assignments in this class. So we're going to put our tempo at 60, our speed at 60. Now, each of these group of notes you see here are called measures, and they're separated by bar lines. Here are the bar lines, and the measures are in between the bar lines. At the end, we have what's called an end bar. It's a double bar, a thin and a fat line here, indicating it's the end of the piece. So we have 3 different pieces here. Now, over here, right after the clef signs, is a time signature or a meter signature, and it gives us the meter, which means the top number is how many beats in a measure. So we count 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Those are beats. The symbols that we have on the staff represent note values. In other words, how long we hold a note. This is called a whole note. A whole note gets 4 beats. So it would be 1, 2, 3, 4. And since we have 4 beats in a measure from our time signature, that is a complete measure, and we hold that note for 4 counts, 4 beats. I'm going to skip to this measure 4, which has 2 half notes. If the whole is 4, then the half of 4 is 2. So we have 2 half notes here. 2 plus 2 is 4 beats in that measure. I went ahead and put the dotted half note, which is 3 beats. The half note being 2, and the dot represents a 3rd beat. So this is 3 beats. And then we have a 4th beat with a rest. The silence in music is a rest. Then after our half notes, we have them divided in half, and half of 2 is 1. So we have 1, 1, 1, 1. These are quarter notes, filled in note head with a stem. And they're counted 1 beat each. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then we divide our quarter notes in half and their 1/8 notes connected by a beam. 2 eighth notes equal 1 beat. So each eighth note is a half of a beat. And we see a set of 2, which is 1 beat here, another beat here, another beat here, and another beat here. And they're counted 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So I put these rhythms on the second space up just so you get to see what notes look like on the staff. But you can clap these, you can talk these. They don't have to be on a pitch. For example, this is the beat. I can go 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, hold, 2, hold, 3, hold, 4. 1, hold, 2, hold, 3, rest. 1, hold, 2, 3, hold, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. You can talk it through. So I'll talk it through and count aloud these beats per measure. Counting them aloud is a way for you to hear how you need to count them in your head. You need to think these. We think in the spoken word, we think in music. We can actually have those sounds in our brain. It's called to audiate. So we're going to audiate these numbers. I'll say them out loud. But when we're actually performing rhythms, we actually think these. Okay? So now, that was the beat, 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 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. All right, so we're going to start from the beginning and we'll see how those tones are held for these note values. Here we go. One, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. Rest. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So that's how they're counted out. That's how they're counted out. The second system here are rest values that are equal to the note values. So remember we had whole, half, quarter, eighth. We have whole, half, quarter, and eighth rests. So this whole rest is on the fourth line, 1, 2, 3, fourth line, underneath the line, and it's a rectangular filled in box there. And that means that entire measure is 4 beats of silence. The next measure has 2 half rests, 2 beats for one, 2 beats for the other, making 4 beats. These are quarter rests, which are 1 beat each. Rest, 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 rest. They're 1 beat. And then eighth rests, which are counted, of course, the same way the eighth notes are. And these are rests 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Now on the third system, measures 11 through 16, we have an example of a different way that you can recite the rhythms. And some teachers use these, some people use them instead of the numbers. I just wanted to give you an example of them if it would help. This is our beat. I'm going to put my metronome on. T, 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 ta, 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 2, 2, 3, D, D, rest. toe, oh, oh, oh. So, just ways of remembering the length of notes. This is helpful for some people. Okay? So, practice this with your metronome on 60, and then maybe try it at 72 or 84. And you can play these rhythms at any tempo, any speed.